Time online, you have seen the pictures. I mean, these are dramatic, life-changing weight loss transformations that honestly seem almost too good to be true. Today, we are explaining the drug behind so many of those transformations, semaglutide.
You know the ones I'm talking about. Those side-by-side photos showing incredible weight loss, and it seems to happen in just a few months. It really makes you stop and wonder, okay, what is actually going on here? We're gonna get you the real story.
Now, you might know it by its brand names, like Ozempic or Wegovy, but the active ingredient we're really focusing on today is semaglutide. They're all part of the same groundbreaking class of medication that is completely changing the conversation around weight management.
To really understand those after photos, we've got to start with the science. What even is this medication, and how in the world does it work inside the body to create such a huge change?
Okay, so semaglutide is what's known as a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Whoa, that's a mouthful, I know. But the concept is actually pretty simple. It's designed to copy a hormone that your own body already makes. It's called GLP-1, and your body releases it after you eat to basically send a message to your brain that says, hey, we're good down here. You can stop eating now.
So here's the 1-2 punch of how it works. First, by mimicking that hormone, it sends these really powerful I'm full signals straight to your brain. And second, it actually slows down how quickly your stomach empties. That means you feel satisfied for much, much longer after a meal, which brings us to this really fascinating idea.
It quiets what people call food noise. I mean, just think about that for a second. That constant mental chatter. What's for dinner? Should I have a snack? Did I eat too much? Users say semaglutide just turns the volume way down on all that noise, and that frees up an incredible amount of mental energy.
So, what does all this actually feel like for a person taking it? What does that journey from the before to the after photo really look like for a typical user? Okay, let's walk through the timeline.
Well, the journey pretty much follows this clear pattern. It kicks off with an adjustment period for the first few weeks, and then you start seeing some early results at about 1 month. By 3 months, the fat loss becomes really noticeable. And by 6 months, wow, many users are seeing a major transformation. So now let's break down what's really happening at each of those stages.
So in that before phase, those first few weeks, it's really all about adjustment. Doctors start patients on a pretty low dose to let the body get used to it. The weight loss itself might be minimal right at the start, but the biggest change people report is internal. That constant nagging urge to just snack or graze all day, it just fades away. Now, as the dose goes up, the results usually do too. By about the 3-month mark, a lot of people hit a real turning point. Studies show an average loss of 10 to 15% of their starting body weight. So, for someone who starts at, say, 200 pounds, that's 20 to 30 pounds gone. And we're not talking about water weight. This is significant fat loss.
And this is so important to understand. The medication isn't a magic pill. It's more like a powerful facilitator. The most dramatic and, more importantly, the most sustainable transformations happen when people use that reduced appetite as a window of opportunity to build healthier habits, like better nutrition and more movement. You know, the drug opens the door, but it's your lifestyle choices that actually walk you through.
The data is really compelling, for sure, but the real impact, that comes to life when you look at the individual stories. So let's look at what these kinds of transformations actually mean for people's health and their overall well-being.
So take this example. A 45-year-old man, he started at 280 pounds. After a year on semaglutide, he lost 70 pounds. I mean, that number is impressive all by itself, but the true story is in all the other health changes that came along with it. This is that ripple effect of the weight loss. His doctor was able to reduce his blood pressure medication. His sleep apnea got dramatically better. He had less joint pain. His cholesterol levels improved. It's a total health overhaul, not just a number on the scale.
And this quote from a user really gets to the emotional heart of it all. The weight loss is life-changing, no doubt, but for many, the real prize is the freedom from that mental prison of food noise. It's like a second chance at a healthier body and a clearer mind.
Okay, now, as exciting as all these results are, it is absolutely essential that we take a clear-eyed look at the risks and the long-term realities. This is a serious medication, and it is definitely not for everyone. This stuff requires some really careful consideration. So let's just break it down.
Common side effects often include nausea and stomach issues, especially when you're just starting out. More seriously, it needs to be avoided by anyone with a personal or family history of certain thyroid cancers or pancreatitis. And then there are two really practical realities to think about. It can be incredibly expensive without good insurance, and this is a big one, if you stop taking it, the weight and that food noise often come right back.
And that brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway here. Semaglutide is an incredibly powerful tool, but it is not a cure. That after photo isn't the finish line. It's really a transition point. It marks the beginning of a new phase that has to be focused on building sustainable habits for the long haul.
So that leaves us with one final big question. We see these stunning after photos everywhere, but are we really looking at a finish line? Or are we looking at a new starting line for a much longer, more sustainable health journey? It's a